What's up, YouTube? Houston here, and for those of you just finding my YouTube channel, welcome. Please remember to hit that subscribe button and that bell. And for those of you that's been following me and supporting me, salute. And for my favorite patrons, always double salute. Now, today's video, we're actually going to be talking about Kickoff Credit Builder. Now, many of you may have thought about getting a Kickoff Credit Builder, but they changed up the game. They used to offer loans, right? And they stopped offering the loans to people. I think were like 12 bucks a month or whatever. And so now they're offering lines of credit, okay? And so let me show you actually what's going on with them. Now, here's the thing about Kickoff and a lot of the other companies. They say they don't do a credit check. But I want you all to keep in mind, whenever a company says, especially if they're giving you credit and stuff like that, and they say they don't do a credit check, that means that they're not going to do a hard pull on your credit. But they may check the third-party credit bureaus to see what's going on, like Clarity, to see if you're in a bankruptcy or something like that. So Clarity, which is owned by Experian, DataX, which is owned by Equifax, they may check a Factor Trust, which is owned by TransUnion or LexisNexis. So if you even get denied for these type of small credit card lenders, excuse me guys, if you get denied for some of these small credit card lenders, this is where you probably want to take a look, all right? Now, understanding with the Kickoff, there's no overdraft, no minimum balance, no monthly fees, no foreign transactions. Now they offer a line of credit for $500. Now, for some of you, well, $500 isn't a lot, but hear me out. I would rather have this $500. I'm going to use a comparison to Credit Strong because I know a lot of people use Credit Strong, but here's the thing about it that you don't understand about Credit Strong. It's not that they're charging you the monthly fee. What it is that they'll put a $10,000 maxed out trade line on your credit, okay? And then you make payments toward that line paying it down. But because it's already maxed out, that actually hurts your credit. This Kickoff $500 line of credit, it helps your credit more, okay? So how you actually use it, they don't give it to you in the form of money. What they allow you to do is purchase digital products and stuff like financial education type of products, okay? Now, the thing about it, they only report to Experian and Equifax, okay? So just keep that in mind. And another thing that you have to understand is that they're only operating in 48 states. So for Delaware, Indiana, they don't operate. Now, that does not mean that you as an individual, if you're trying to rebuild your credit with Kickoff and they're not operating in your state, there's not other things you can do. As a matter of fact, here's some things that you may want to consider to help you beef up your credit. You have places that pay your rent. I'm always telling people is if you're paying cash or you're paying money order, you need to sign up with places like this here. You have a PayPlace that you can pay your rent through them and it'll report as a trade line. You have RentTrack. So that way when you're paying your rent, instead of just giving somebody $500, $600, $700, $800, even $1,000 in rent cash or giving them a money order, you need to use these here type of companies to pay your rent. The reason is because it's a positive trade line on your credit, okay? And because it's a positive trade line on your credit, it actually builds up your credit so that you yourself can actually qualify, help you qualify for a mortgage, okay? Now, also Grow Credit is a good company as well as Perch. Now, if you have car insurance, cable, utility bills, things of that nature, Grow Credit will help report those type of trade lines on your personal credit. You have Experian Boost, also helps. Grow Credit, I like them because they report to all three. Now, one thing that I didn't put on here that I wish I did, Extra. I always talk about Extra Debit Credit Card, right? And the reason is if you use your debit card a lot, they'll take your monthly transactions and report it as a trade line on your personal credit. They report to Experian and Equifax as well. So that's the reason, if you're trying to rebuild your credit and you're trying to consider companies that you want to do business with besides Kickoff, then these are other companies you should consider as well. Another way for you to help build your credit is through adding authorized users. Now, in reference to, I talked to people about adding authorized users. In reference to like with most of your major banks like Citibank, US Bank, Bank of America, they pull your FICO 8 in order to determine if they want to give you funding and stuff. FICO 9 is like Wells Fargo, some of the credit unions. You have Penn Fed Credit Union, you have Navy Fed Credit Union, some of your fintech companies like Upstart, Upgrade, those type of companies. So if you add authorized users to your credit, then that will build up your FICO 9. Now, if you don't know the difference between your FICO 9, your FICO 8, FICO 5, click the link in the description and get your real FICO score, so you can actually see what's the difference and how to actually build it up. As a matter of fact, if you use the link in the description to get your credit report and schedule a 30-minute consultation, I'll go over it with you on how you can leverage your credit scores to get more funding, okay? Now, if you're a person that's needing funding to try to pay down some credit card debt so your credit score can go up or whatever, then you may want to look at a company like CREDITLOAN. And the reason is because they're not focused on the credit. They're actually focused on how long you've been on your job, how long you've been at your residence, what's your DTI. And for companies like this, where your major banks, they'll turn you down if you have a debt to income ratio above 55%, but companies like this may tolerate 75%, okay? They have a 90% chance of approval from what they state, $250,000 to $40,000 in loan. If you have that credit, they'll give you up to $5,000, and unfortunately, they don't operate in Connecticut. Now, another trade line I would definitely tell you that you should consider to add to your credit file if you're trying to get a primary trade line and trying for it to turn into a regular credit card as fast as possible would be SABLE card. The SABLE card goes up to $10,000. Now, say that CREDITLOANs gave you $5,000. Then I would probably take maybe $2,500 of it. And besides that, CREDITLOANs is not going to hit your credit report. They won't put an inquiry on your credit report. Now, with the SABLE one, you don't have to be a U.S. citizen. You don't have to have a social. But if I was to get $5,000, I would, if I'm not able, and if I was to get $5,000 and I wasn't paying down my debt, but I wanted to still build my credit, I would probably take $3,000 of it and I would put it on the SABLE card because it reports to all three credit bureaus. And then after 4 months, it actually becomes a unsecured credit card with a statement on it. So now with a statement credit of that $3,000, all right, they don't give you the $3,000 back, but they make it a statement credit so you can keep on using the card. But at the same time, like I said, you don't have to have a social, you don't have to be a U.S. citizen in order to take advantage of this, and which would help you build up your credit. Now, again, like I was telling you about FICO 9, using your FICO 9 to leverage. If you're able to get into Navy Federal, I would say, you know, the first thing if I'm trying to build up my credit or I'm trying to rebuild my credit is to get the Nrewards card, because after 6 months of good payment history and your other accounts are okay, it turns into a regular credit card. It may be $2,000, maybe $3,000, but at the same time, if you're rebuilding, it's definitely worth it. Also, with you possibly having multiple accounts with Navy Federal, and what I mean by that, having a direct deposit with them, having that Nrewards card, having a pledge loan. By the way, guys, Some of you guys have been instructed to get multiple pledge loans. That's not necessary. That's the waste of money. Okay? All you need is one pledge loan. As a matter of fact, I made a video explaining how to leverage that pledge loan so that you can actually build a stronger internal relationship with Navy Federal so that you can get access to higher limits of credit cards and loans as well. All right. Now, if you have any other questions about personal credit funding, business credit funding, then I encourage you to click the link below and schedule a one-on-one consultation. Thank you.